I'd like to bring to order what we have tonight. We have two on the agenda and a number of hazard tree removals. So we're going to start off with 393 Yorkshire Way. If you can come up and talk to us. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bob Wager, RKW Engineering. I'm representing the developer tonight. I prepared the plan, and oh, we have the screen on tonight? Oh, there it is. All right. Basically, what we're doing is there's an existing house we're removing. We're constructing a new house at approximately the same location. The driveway is in exactly the same location. There may be some grade changes on the upper end of it. We're installing stormwater management basin in front by the driveway. That'd be right here. We're taking down no trees. It's a pretty straightforward plan.
Okay. So the existing footprint of the house is going to be pretty much the existing footprint as it is right now?
Yeah, you can see the lighter lines underneath are
Right.
the existing house,
Okay.
and the heavier lines are the new house.
Right. Have there been any trees removed on this site recently?
I don't know.
How long have you owned it?
I don't own it. I'm just the engineer.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't been to the site in a while, so I don't know.
Because there has been.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been to the site since I finished the plan. So.
Yeah, from our standpoint, the reason the plan, based on the plan in front of you, there's no trees being removed. The reason this goes to Shade Tree Commission is because by virtue of the grading permit, they're required to come here to this commission. I was unaware that trees have been removed recently also on this. I don't know if that was, we would have to check to see if there was a clearing permit or pulled, or if it fell beneath, what's required to come to this commission.
I just happened to be by there, so I didn't know it was coming in front of us till I saw it last week. So I don't know how many came down or.
We could, might I suggest then that we ask the developer to update, or ask the developer to have his engineer take a look at the plan versus what's there now and see if any of the trees have been removed that are shown as existing on the plan.
But maybe it's a non-issue. I mean, maybe it was only 4 trees, It could be that too. I just didn't know if he had prior knowledge of what was going on.
Well, what I would ask then, if it so pleases this commission, we ask Mr. Wager to review the site, and he can contact engineering directly. If there's no difference with what's on the plan versus what is there currently, they move forward based on any recommendations here. If there is a difference, we'll evaluate it on the staff level, and if it needs to come back to Shade Tree, we'll have him come back.
That's fine.
That's fine with me. Okay.
So team, we looked this plan over a little bit. How are we with it?
How are you going to have a problem with the construction?
Wait, where on the driveway, see the hatch, that's the tire cleaner on.
This here?
The shaded area, it looks like beehive there.
42-inch thing here.
I mean, basically, there's already a driveway there, so we're not going to be really disturbing too much.
disturbance at 42 Maple?
Well, they already have this existing driveway is just the same, everything stays the same. The driveway is the same too. The driveway stays the same footprint?
Yeah, the only change to the driveway, we're adding a little bit in the back where the turnaround is.
I got you,
Just here.
yeah. On the, it would be our left-hand side, I guess, where's the north area here? I guess it would be on the west side of the property. You're going to be pretty close. There's a 38-inch ash tree. It's going to be pretty close to your building envelope. Is there a chance to maybe connect that tree fence between the 18-inch maple and that 30-inch ash tree to kind of give us some more barrier there?
Yeah.
38-inch ash.
Yeah, I think that's not a problem.
And then to the rear of the property, you have 2 clusters of trees with tree protection fence.
Right.
And then you have a 20-inch maple is kind of singled by itself there.
Right.
Could you just connect that whole group
Well-
of trees together?
I had to leave it open because that shed is coming down there, and so I had to give them access to that shed, but
Or could they,
the shed is, the tree is very close to the shed. It's hard to,
could they demo the shed and then put the tree protection up?
okay, I'll put a note on that,
Would
yeah.
that be all right?
Okay, yeah.
This is tree protection fence here, right?
Correct.
Which is real, I just don't see this 42, I mean, there's nothing gonna bother this 42-inch. You see the 42-inch tree there that's sort of on the property line?
Yeah.
Could you use your microphone, please? So the folks.
Across the property line, yes.
See the 42-inch tree?
Right here, yeah.
Right on the property line. Do you know which, is that on your property, the property you're working on, or is that next door?
That's on the neighbor's property.
Okay, and the tree protection
Right
fence
here.
is just within a few feet of that, right?
Correct.
Okay, now, so I assume that right on the other side of that is going to be an area of disturbance.
Not too much disturbance because the driveway there's already a driveway there.
Right.
And we're not going to be doing a whole lot of heavy grading or anything there.
So it's just a
We're
matter of
just
keeping a
resurfacing.
vehicle from hitting it or something?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
The 34-inch beach. I'm sorry, the 34-inch beach to the left of that shed. Are you concerned, Jim, about how close that fence is? Do we want to extend that a little further if we can because of the root system on that?
Well, that's all I was hoping to.
You wanted to connect.
I was hoping if they could demo that shed without a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
We could connect those two together and
But
give that beech tree the most room we could.
Yeah.
You agreed to do
Okay.
that, right? To
Yeah,
demolish
I'll just pull the tree protection fence right across so we can protect all those trees.
So go like that?
Yeah, probably something more like if we just do this.
Right.
Just connect those two, one big kind of loop. Exactly.
Okay.
Is that circle just to your left there? Does that mean anything to us?
What, this circle?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I don't know how it got on the plan. I'll have to check and see what that is.
Trampoline.
I don't think there's any there.
It's a trampoline.
I think that's just a random circle.
Just a random circle there?
Are the stumps still there from what you saw from the, you said the trees were removed?
I just saw them taking them down. The stumps are probably
You
gone.
saw them taken down?
Yeah. I seen I saw them, I was just passing by. They didn't seem, I don't know how many were coming down.
Right. It's too bad they didn't stop at them. Ask them,
Yeah, I didn't know it was involved with
Yeah.
a building project.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, I just saw them taking a couple trees down. I don't know if it went further than what I
Did you
saw.
see who was doing it?
I forget. I don't know. It was in the middle of this ice storm thing.
Yeah.
All right. We have any more issues here with this? Does anybody have any other comment?
Well, no, but I'd just like to get as much specifics as we can get on the trees that were taken down. Like the
Okay.
company that did it, and the size and number of trees that were taken down.
All right, I'll have the developer contact him, because I, like I said, I don't know
Right.
what was doing.
All right, we're ready for a vote on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved?
Thank you.
Motion granted.
Call me. I know. Just give me a call. Anytime. We'll look at something. Feet on the ground. Boots on the ground. That's good. I got.
Okay. Our second applicant tonight,
Get it.
560 Sproul Road. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Chris Yawn. I work for Mominy and Associates. We're the civil engineers for the project. Lisa Thomas is here from Glack and Thomas Panzak. They are the landscape architects, and Dave England is here on behalf of Notre Dame. We submitted a 10-sheet set of grading permit plans. This is the overview that I'll go over quickly just to orient everyone where we are. This is Sproul Road on the high side of the plan. On the southern side, or on the right side of the plan, is Godfrey Road. Over on the other side of the street is Overbrook Golf Club. Right now, the school has an entrance driveway that comes basically from that intersection. There's a red light there. It comes in, and there's an existing driveway that exits out over to this exit. The other way of travel, which most people do, is you come in here, you wrap around to this parking area, and you come out back down here on Godfrey Road. This application is for the redevelopment of the sports fields that are out front along Sproul Road. Right now, there are 4 fields. They are all rectangular. There's one here, there's another here you can see faintly. Field 2, Field 3 is over here, which actually also has a softball infield. So they're all multi-purpose. This one is also for softball, this third one. And on the other side of the entrance drive is a 4th field. What you see here in brown are the buildings, yellow are the walkways, gray is the paving. The existing paving is shown in a lighter gray, and the new paving is shown in a darker gray. Along this entrance drive, it's being reconfigured. They're adding some parking spaces. And over here on this side, this is Trexler Hall. They have a maintenance garage right here. This maintenance garage is coming down, and this portion of the parking lot is being rebuilt and restriped. Going back to the fields, this existing field is going to remain as is. This second field is going to be converted to a softball field only. The 3rd and 4th fields would both be artificial turf fields. They would both be multi-purpose, and there would be an all-weather track that runs around this 3rd field. This is a walkway that goes in between. That's the overview of what they'd like to do. We did have to go to the zoning hearing board to get approval for the fields within the front yard and within the side yard setback, as well as disturbance of some man-made steep slopes. As I said, there is a set of 10 plans. The second sheet shows the tree removal. There are, I believe, 185 trees being removed, which requires 270 replacement trees. The grading plan is sheet 3. The erosion control plan is sheet 4 that shows the tree protection fencing. And then, if it's all right, I'm going to pass it over to Lisa Thomas. She prepared the landscape plan, and she can go over our discussions with the Township arborist.
What did you say sheet 4 was?
Sheet 4 is the erosion and sediment control plan. That shows the construction entrance, the silt fence, and the tree protection fencing, the limited disturbance, and the other features during construction.
Good evening, Lisa Thomas from Glack and Thomas Panzak. Chris and I met with the Township arborist, I think it was February. There was snow on the ground. so it could have been March. So we met with the township arborist, we walked around, looked at, discussed where the trees were coming down, what trees they were. With that walkabout, he suggested that we kind of grade the trees for their, their quality. So this is just a working document that I did.
Do we have this one?
I had sent it in an email to the township. I can also get it to you if you'd like. He has a copy of it. I gave it to him to review. So basically what we did is we just looked at the good, the fair, the poor, and the dead on this plan. And the good is, good condition is green. The fair is white. We didn't touch it. We didn't give it a color. And the poor is kind of that brownish color on there. And then the red were the dead trees that we found. So that gives you an idea of sort of the quality of things that are out there. Some of the very poor trees are along the driveway, the existing driveway right here. There's a number of cherries that are in very poor shape. The trees within the edge of the woods, right over here, a number of them were in very, very bad shape, cracks, just poor quality, very poor looking shape, just they're all mushed in. The better quality trees within the woodlands are along the property lines, right in this area. That was a much better looking woodland, better trees, higher quality. So that formed the basis of the qualitative analysis that shows up, I believe, on your tree removal plan, correct? So on the tree removal plan, you can see the chart, and the quality of the trees are listed there, based on my highlighted plan that I gave Chris Yon from Mominy Associates. Any questions so far from everybody? Okay. So we moved on to, after assessing the trees and understanding the removals and finalizing the grading, we moved on to preparing a landscape plan for the project, and it's LP1. So by way of a summary, this plan shows that 270 trees, new trees were required. 165 of them are proposed to be shade trees. 85 are proposed to be understory trees. And as you can see, there's a significant amount of trees on the property. And as a result of that, the school would like to donate 20 trees to the township. And that would get us to the number that we would be required to provide as part of the development. With this plan that we did, it was a really great opportunity to look at the existing conditions of the site. And as everybody knows, the trees have been out there for a very long time. It's an old estate, and a number of them are all the same age. And the trees are, a significant number of them are in decline and have reached their maturity. So we took the opportunity to think of this as the ability to sort of revegetate a little bit for the future on the property. So we're looking to, if you look along Godfrey Road, what we did was we went in and we placed trees new trees amongst the older mature trees to shore up that wooded area and that edge of Godfrey Road. And the same thing for Sprawl Road. There's not as many trees left along the fence line and along the streetscape, so we've added more trees and placed a lot of trees there, shade and flowering trees. Along the entry drive, we've added additional weeping cherries. It's a very important component to the school. It's part of their identity. And then we started to look at putting some trees around the mansion. And as we get close to the mansion, there's a weeping beech right here, and initially, a significant weeping beech. And initially in the design process, there were parking spaces there, and the tree was to be removed. So we all kind of took a second look at that and thought about it, and Chris was able to relocate some parking spaces, and we're going to do our best to keep that Weeping Beech as long as we can there. And I'm very excited about having that opportunity to do that. It's an iconic tree.
It's a 48-inch beech there?
Yeah, yes, it's very large.
Right.
So as you continue entering the site and turning the corner, we're adding trees along the driveway. We're adding new trees in the parking lot because trees are being removed as part of the redesign of the parking lot. We're providing trees adjacent to the pool area and the driveway. There's a number of declining trees in that area, and we, again, want to go in and plant new underneath the existing trees. And then along the edge of the new parking lot and the track, we've got a line of trees. Over in the wooded area, we're providing additional shade trees in that area. And as required by zoning, we're providing a evergreen buffer along that property line.
Jim, what's the muscle here?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have a question for the applicant. Hi, Ms. Thomas.
Hi.
Would Notre Dame be amenable to, instead of donating the trees to the township, contribute the same equivalent to our
Yes.
shade tree fund?
Yes, that's
And
what
then
that's what they'd like to do.
That would be
Yes.
fantastic,
Yeah, yeah.
if it's okay with the board.
Pony is Carpentis, Carolina,
If the car's minus, muscle quarantine, same
Hornby.
So we have a large variety of trees on the plant list, and we've tried to kind of even it out in terms of the numbers, so there's not too much of one tree. The school was also very interested in having more beech placed on the property because so many have died in the past. So we have a variety of beeches that we're providing throughout the campus.
Please walk us through the streetscape plan here. The new streetscape is a
Along
combination
Spa
of-
Road?
Yeah.
So along Sproul Road, we have a combination of flowering trees and shade trees. We have sugar maples. There are some beeches. We've got some dogwoods, magnolias, cyanthus, oaks, and taxodium. It's a wide variety of different trees.
The track part is going to be pretty elevated.
So the track will be up, and then there'll be an embankment, and we had wanted to plant along that embankment to soften it from the street.
Right, the two fields will be up pretty good ways from the
Yeah,
road.
yeah, we thought if we put some trees on that embankment, it would help it.
And you had done a walkthrough with the township arborist.
Yes, we did that, and then I met with him recently, I believe it was a week and a half ago or so, and went over the plan with him and discussed it with him.
What was the discussion, if we could be privy to some of that?
Oh, he was fine with his plan.
Was he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was. He was pleased with the quality and the quantity of the trees and the types of trees and the
did he-
variety.
Did he have a chance to review some of the trees that were coming down as far as, there were some bad trees
When we
on the site,
walked
too?
through the site when it was, I guess it was February, he did look at it with me, and then he left, and I went through it again, and, he was the one who suggested that we grade the trees, actually.
Right.
And said, look, these aren't, this cherry is falling apart, you should, mark that it's in poor condition.
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Ward, I'll have John Hosback provide a statement via email to the commission, and it'll go on the file regarding
Right.
his review.
Exactly. Well, Lisa, what was the breakdown on on that tree grading again, when you broke it all down?
how many?
The total, and then you graded them,
So of the total of the trees, of the 6 to 18, it's on the,
which page are we
on page sheet 2, at the bottom. So mine was merely a tool for Chris Yon to be able to translate it into the chart, the color plan I did. So at the bottom, under tree replacement notes, and it says total trees being removed.
Wait, I got it.
Between the 4 to 6 inch DBHs, there's 10 being removed, and none were in poor condition. At the 6 to 18 inch DBH, 102 are being removed, and 25 are dead or in poor condition. 19 to 29 inch DBH, 41 are being removed, and 15 are in dead or poor condition. And 30 inch DBH and greater, 19 are being removed, and 5 are dead or in poor condition. And it looks like there's a multi-stem category here of 13 of which are being removed, and 3 are dead and in poor condition.
Yeah, so you almost have almost a third of your removal list is dead or in poor condition. There's about over 50 trees, right, that are in bad
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah. And Melissa? The 6 dead. Here's this picture again. I'm happy to walk around with anybody if they want to take a look at it on the campus.
Was there discussion about the buffering there, Lisa, between the neighbors to, I guess it's on the west side? Do you have enough room to get some buffer in there?
I
between
think so.
your hardwoods?
I think it'll be fine on the edge of the woods, and particularly because of the sun angle, because that's the southern side. So I think they'll have plenty of sun. I didn't want to go into the woods and put it along their property line, because it would not be helpful, I don't think, for anybody. So.
As part of the zoning hearing board process, the location of the buffer was discussed with the neighbors.
Lisa, what's the mix going back into the parking lot planting areas there?
In the parking lot, we're using oaks, maples, and hackberry. So it's an October Glory maple and a sawtooth oak.
That, just on the grade lines for where the track is to that west side, Lisa, the limit of disturbance, is that in the tan dash lines, or is that tree protection on page 3?
That's on page 3, the tan line is the limited disturbance. And on page 4, that limited disturbance is shown as well, and then the tree protection fencing is shown in blue. In some cases, right behind it, and in other cases, further away.
Just in the area of that track, we're coming into I'm just trying to see if, as we go down, we have a number of trees that are getting removed on that limit disturbance line, like a 20-inch beech. And then you kind of round the turn there. We're getting tight on a couple trees. I'm not sure if they're marked to remove, or is it the limit disturbance line's right on top of them, like a 20-inch poplar? Is there an X on that top of that tan line? Is that coming out?
If they're within the disturbance line, they would be removed, yes.
Okay.
I apologize, the line might make it harder to read. I guess if you compared to sheet 2, it'd be easier to see the X, although I recognize the difficulty in doing that.
It's just hard to see. I'm just wondering at that point, there's a 20-inch poplar and a 14-inch poplar. I don't know if you can see them. They're very close to that limited disturbance line, but they're set back a little bit.
Okay, those two are to remain.
Those
If
two-
it's, if I can point them out right here. If it's this 14 and this 20, those are to remain.
Okay.
If you see on this plan, we show a tree line, approximate tree line for the, goes around the trees to be saved. There's another line that goes out here that goes around the trees to be removed. So it's kind of the trees in the middle that are going. And I guess,
Yeah, if you go back to that grade line, you can see,
yes.
I'm just worried about the proximity to that grade change to those trees. If we're on scale here, we're 140.
Yes, those 14 and the 20, those are to
So
stay.
what are we off of that, how far away are we off of that grade line? We're probably like 20 foot before 15 foot before the grade starts?
So from the 14 to that first grade line is about 11 feet. And from the 20-inch poplar to the first grade line, or actually, let me take that back, I was measuring to the center of the tree. From the edge of the trunk to the grade line is about 10 feet to the 14-inch poplar, and for the 20-inch poplar, it's about 12 feet.
So we're going to be putting a good bit of fill, grading over the roots. I'm just thinking about if we're doing this to give these, to maximize the chance effectiveness of those poplar trees actually living through this. You know, we're so close to that grade line change.
It's actually a cut.
Oh, it's a cut, I mean, yeah. We're going to be taking off a good bit of the root system of those. I mean, we're only, it's me to you. I mean, we're not that far away from the actual trees, so.
Did you want us to
I-
compensatory tree for that?
Just, yeah, I would say either just put those on a list to be removed because they're going to be so impacted, I
Okay.
think, by this, that their chances of survivability are probably going to be pretty low.
Okay.
And then if we can get onto the page where your tree protection fence is,
What page is that?
That's page 4.
Page 4.
do you think it'd be feasible just to say, put that tree protection up, just follow that limited disturbance line all the way along that property line?
The way we drew it was, and I could confirm this, but I believe the requirement is that you draw it within 25 feet of the disturbance. And so we wrapped it around, I think, until it got 25 feet away.
I got you.
If we're closing that off, could I close, instead of the 6-foot chain link, could I close it off with the orange fencing since we are the 25 feet away?
Yeah, just to make it, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of activity here on this, I just want somebody to duck in between there, you know, with maybe some supplies, or make it an area that they want to back up a piece of equipment or something, or park something in between the trees, and then they're on the back side of your tree protection. You know, if you just wanted to make it so that isn't an area where physically you want the equipment to go. It doesn't have to be the chain link if that's what the code, if that's within the code. I think just sealing that off somehow, so the contractors know it's not an area to, for their supplies to be stored, or anywhere that, we just don't want them to go back there, because this is going to be an integral part of what you're trying to preserve on that side of the, on that track there.
Jim, what other trees are we removing now? Are they up in this area?
Two trees, yeah, two. Real close.
Poplar, 14-inch?
They're right next to this little disturbance line.
What about this locust here?
Let's set back pretty far off of that. I'm worried about these grade lines here.
Right, yeah.
The grade lines inch right underneath the canopy of
Right.
those trees. 11 feet here, 15 feet here.
Right.
Probably about 25 feet off that locust there, and we're not as hard into it as we are right there. So
Okay. So just a 14-inch poplar, or is there another one coming out?
There's a 20-inch poplar too. That's right next to it. That's that dot.
Oh, okay. Right, I got it.
Group, do we have some other concerns we'd like to talk about while we have a minute? Any parking lots? Check the parking lots out.
For what?
Just how things are looking, the islands, the new islands are going in. And
Let me just see the plan. This planning. You like here? These?
well, yeah, they have new, all these are all going to be new, trees are all going in.
Right. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Six Oaks, a lot of oaks there.
I guess, did John go over the trees you're thinking about planting?
Yes, he looked at the list with me.
Some of those look like big trees, so there's a lot of those, doesn't it? Swamp Lego, looking at Swamp Lego, doesn't need a lot of water. It needs a lot of water. I don't know, they just seem like big trees for little islands. What do you think? Red maple gets how big?
Lisa, in the islands themselves, we have a mix of maples. We have some October glories, right?
Yes,
And then we have sawtooth oak,
yes. And then the hackberry.
and then the hackberry.
I'm happy to adjust or change plant types or locations.
And then this is all Quercus bicolor. All Quercus bicolor is on the, all the way around the parking lot here.
And then on the turn are elms,
Oh, okay.
so it's broken up. And then below, in front of the gym, are maples existing, so we've got 3 different kinds of trees along
Okay.
the driveway.
You spec'd out the Valley Forge elm?
Yes.
Lisa, you might want to change that cultivar up a little bit.
Okay.
We've had some bad branching characteristic problems with the Valley Forge.
What would you recommend?
And the hybrid elms would be the Princeton
Okay.
rather than the Valley Forge. Just its branching, it has some inherent problems with its lateral branching structure, so
Okay.
it wouldn't do very well
All right, good to know.
in that spot.
Thank you.
Jim, what about the red maples? A lot of red maples, 4 red maples in that one.
Red maples are going to be big.
And they need a lot of water, too.
Did you want me to shift something, put something different there?
Just thinking maybe if it would go with maybe, with another maple, maybe an Amur maple or like a, would have good fall color but would fit maybe a little bit better into that parking slot instead of that maple's going to get so huge in that little island, you know? Yeah. Or trident maple, yeah, maybe a mix, maybe if you have room for a couple of both, trident maple would be a good suggestion.
In the evergreen trees that you've chosen here, is there an alternative to the white pine, which has taken a beating consistently every winter?
I was actually working off something that was approved at the zoning hearing board,
Okay.
so I think I'm happy to change it. I have to go back and see if that's okay because of it was approved on the zoning plan.
Okay.
So, but I'm happy to, I'll pursue that for you. Okay.
And if they wanted to weight those screen trees a little bit heavier on the Norway spruce side than the Douglas fir side,
Okay.
it might be a better suggestion. We've been having a lot of environmental stresses with a lot of Douglas firs that look good in the beginning, but 10, 15 years later haven't been doing that well.
Mr. Ward, if I could, I'll let Sue Jones just run down the list of recommendations so we have it correct for the minutes and Ms. Thomas and the board. Where are you? So just from the beginning, as opposed to donating 20 trees to the Township, Notre Dame will donate the required amount in lieu of those trees to the Shade Tree Fund. John Hosbach will submit his written report of the walkthrough with Ms. Thomas on the property and his review of Ms. Thomas's plan. Jim Ward asked about poplars near the new track at the end near Sproul. Extending the tree protection fence with orange fencing between the chain link along the neighbor's side. Valley Forge elms should be changed to Princeton elms. And lean heavier on the Norway spruce species as opposed to Douglas spruce, okay.
And a change on the October Glory maples in the parking islands.
Hang on.
Was the possibility of switching to a trident maple or an Amur maple, A-M-U-R? Amur, A-M-U-R. And if, I was just worried about the grade lines being too close to those two poplar trees, and if that indeed it is too close, we're going to affect them adversely, then put those on the removal list, and then the compensatory plantings would reflect the new removal totals.
Could I clarify that? So they're going to stay on the plan as to remain. However, we're going to provide replacement for them, right? You don't want us to remove them right now. We can keep them, but then provide the two
I just thought
extra-
if our arborists could go out there and just say, here's the demarcation line, if they're going to be adversely affected, if it's just going to be, there's no way that they're going to live, I would just say, take them out and put the new fence up and then add it to the compensatory planting. So John could just check out for those two trees, the
Will do.
distance, how their canopy looks, and possibly adding them to the removal list.
I just want to say, it looks like a lot of work and a lot of good planning on this, and it's really good the way you're diversifying the trees because of all the new diseases hitting when you get too many of the same kind of tree. That the diversity of the trees, I think, is really
very
nice,
good,
the
yeah.
way they set that up.
It's good to
I
say.
do have a question. What about that hackberry? Do you think that's too big for the parking lot? In the same vein as the maples?
Lisa, where do you have those hackberries?
The
Are they-
hackberries in some of the parking lot islands.
Are they in the islands also?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just wanted to, because the way you're concerned about hackberries, to get a little big too. I wasn't sure what your thoughts were.
They are going to get pretty big for that spot.
So should we just try to find a smaller type tree then?
Try to find something smaller that
We
maybe,
actually like do Amur maples and the trident.
Right.
And just take out the reds and the hackberry.
take,
and
just do it that way. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we have any other planning suggestions for the lots at all? Anything? We ready to make a vote on this? Okay. All in acceptance on this?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, and
Thank you very much.
good planning, Lisa.
very nice.
Good luck on the project.
Thanks.
Looks
Yeah,
good.
looking forward to it.
Yep.
Should be beautiful.
Hook. Did you give them
I just want to see
in? Yeah,
the boots on the ground.
yeah, that's good. We want to go through our hazard removal list for the month.
Absolutely, Mr. Ward.
All of these have been looked at by our township arborists and approved.
That is correct.
So we want to go through them. 715 Brumwell Avenue, list of trees, 22-inch white ash, 2 15-inch white ash, 27-inch sugar maple, 29-inch sugar maple, 23-inch Norway maple, 24-inch black locust, 26-inch sycamore, 6-inch maple, 18-inch Norway maple. John would like to see some replacements if the client is willing. We have 406 Woodland Avenue with the pictures included, 2 sugar maples, both with decayed spots in the trunks. 2 township trees coming down, 140 South Spring Mill, ash, and 409 Ivan. Township tree requiring pruning per discussion, Park Superintendent, 1 large sycamore Orchard Way. And we have a hand-in from Eastern University that we all got. This, per code, we don't need to see it, but Eastern likes to tell us what's going on with removals over there. So they have only 3 trees, 22-inch weeping willow, 21-inch black locust, and 24-inch ash. Pictures included, all in bad shape, some of it from the ice storm. They'll be coming out And note says, spoke with Township arborist about this, so I guess John's involved with that. I think that's all for, Jack had a note about a few items you wanted the Township to check on, Jack? Oh, they got it already? Okay. A few things that he saw. We just came back from our Arbor Day with the three of us. Were over at the park with the tree planting, which is a good event. We've been honored again, 22nd year, to be included in Tree City USA, which speaks an awful lot for the township and their commitment to preserving the canopy here, which is vital for everyone. So it was a great event. Planted a couple trees with the Cub Scouts, and they're having through the Conservancy, we're having the tree giveaway is on Saturday that people have already signed up for. So they're giving away 125 trees at township residents on Saturday, and there's going to be a planting, kind of a planting instruction for any residents that want to come down. I think everyone else, the trees are already accounted for, so that would have to have been done prior to this, but the event is happening this Saturday. I believe it's going to be, they're giving them away at Skunk Hollow, Steve, is that
No,
right?
it's actually here.
Oh, it's here? Okay.
We tried, the response was so good, and Kimberly Donchez, I have to give her
Really set
credit
it
from
up.
the Conservancy. She does so much work on these items, and this was her baby, if you will. So the original order was for 125 trees. We talked today, she was trying to get additional trees because these are very nice trees. You know, they're 5 to 6 foot, they're in 3 to 5 gallon containers. So there's trees of substance. So we'll know for next year if we do this again that, definitely want to increase it because the response was great. But kudos to Kimberly Donchez, who is with the Conservancy, who really spearheads the tree planting project we do in the right of way. She spearheaded this amongst others.
I think it's great, and if it's something that we could announce at our meeting when that's going on, that we could give everyone a heads up, and if that appears in our newsletter, the township newsletter. I don't think I read it in the newsletter.
This may have come about before the date
Did it?
that everything was required for
Right.
the newsletter.
And is there a chance that we can get the information on the tree planting that's going on, like in the spring or fall, so we could announce that at our meeting too?
Absolutely, because this year, so the past 2 years, what we've done is we've taken our list of residents who have had trees removed in the right-of-way by the township, and we've sent them letters and offered them a new tree, and there was a small fee just to keep everybody have some skin in the game, and they were be installed by a contractor. We would bid it out, and we installed it. And this year, we're actually looking at possibly doing something different, and would definitely involve the Shade Tree Commission, and that would be more of a streetscape. So instead of going to all the various, maybe 30 or 40 different areas in the township, we could pick a street or streets that are somewhat devoid of trees or have lost a lot of trees, and try to make a canopy impact, not Toll Brothers, Chester County Farm style planting, but something a little more deep. And Kimberly Donchez is really spearheading that. So obviously we wouldn't do anything until fall at this point. So when that comes about and we start to have those talks, I will probably ask Kimberly to come in and talk to you folks and get your input.
That'd be great. Appreciate it. And I think that concludes our April meeting. We have Friday is considered Arbor Day everywhere, so go out and plant some trees if you can. We're already ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
Good. We're good.
Mr. Ward, Sue Jones brought up a great thing. If somebody, this happens all the time, so if somebody sees somebody cutting down trees and you have concerns, if you call the township, 688-6500, I'm sorry, 688-5600, extension 133, that's Sue. So when we get calls on these things while it's happening, we send somebody right out. And a lot of times, we're able to stop it in the middle and work it out. Sometimes they're within their legal right to remove them. Let me put that back. You're always allowed to remove trees from your property. They're just compensatory plantings. But sometimes they're under the requirement. But it's always good if we know when it's happening, because sometimes we can stop something that shouldn't be going on. So never have a problem calling the township asking for Sue, and she gets right in touch with our inspectors and sends them out. And actually, John Hosback is in the township several days a week, just looking at trees in the right-of-way for the Public Works Department, so.
That's good. Good to know. And that concludes our meeting. Thank you very much.